Hello everybody, this is Tara here. I haven't done a video from last year, I think. My goodness. Last year. What a crazy year it has been. COVID has just destroyed every amount of normacy. I don't even know if that's a word, or if I just invented that. Normacy that we have had, and it has been horrible. Like, it is February, it's the 10th of February, 2021. So I'm just gonna give you kind of an update of what's been going on with my kids, because we all know my channel is to do with my children. Mackenzie had started nursery. She got into a special needs school, and unfortunately, due to COVID, everything has been on lockdown from before Christmas. And even before Christmas, when she started in September, there was her helper in the morning times in her taxi had tested positive, so we had to keep Mackenzie off. Obviously, we couldn't test her. You know what it's like to test a child, but let alone, a younger child, who's autistic. So we couldn't test her. We just had to keep her off and self-isolate her for the days that you're supposed to. So she was off quite a lot, unfortunately. So that little bit of sort of peace, I was like, oh, when she goes to school, I'll find out what it's like to have, my coffee in peace. I haven't really had that yet, unfortunately. And then with Tristan as well, he has been off too. Now in Northern Ireland, they do allow, all the schools are closed, but any child that is statemented or a child that belongs to frontline workers are allowed to continue to go to school. And Tristan does go to special needs school as well. We have decided to keep him off, even though he goes to special needs school and they're allowed to attend. Me and the teachers felt, so we decided it was just best to keep Tristan off, because Tristan does have a really serious heart condition. If you haven't seen my videos, I'll just quickly explain. I don't know the word for it, because it's sort of unique. He's under a specialist care at the Royal. He's got sort of 3 issues with his heart. He's got where it was explained to me that which I didn't know, when you are in your mommy's belly, your heart has sort of like this extra flap, and once you're born, the flap closes over right away, or it takes a wee bit, but it closes over for mostly everybody. Tristan's flap didn't close over, so they're keeping an eye on that to make sure that when he grows older, that the flap doesn't continue to, he gets a scan every year, and it sort of has gotten a bit wider, so they're keeping an eye on that, because there's a point where they said where it's too wide and they need surgery. He also, again, I didn't know this, there is a large vein that connects from your heart, and it goes up to your throat. Well, that is really, really thick. He says usually that, what they see in a Tristan, it wouldn't be thick like that for like a 50-year-old, so also that he might need surgery for that, to stretch that open, because that can cause him problems with his throat. And also, which is the worst one, which is the one they said they haven't really seen before, is he has his heart, like when your heart is blood is being pumped to your lungs, he sort of like has an extra piece or something in his heart where it sort of goes round and down into his lungs, and it's not supposed to do that. So it takes up to twice as long for blood to be pumped from his heart into his lungs. So that one the doctor is highly concerned about. He actually says, I don't even think there's a name for what Tristan has. I've never seen this before. So he sees loads of doctors. So unfortunately, with that issue with COVID, if you have a heart condition, lung problems, and also Tristan has asthma, he's also seen at the asthma clinic at the Royal. So with those problems, I felt, and the teachers felt, we felt it was best to keep Tristan off. And that's why everyone else, Mackenzie as well, has been kept off school, because I just couldn't chance him catching COVID. So we're just waiting for the vaccine. So that's with Tristan. I'm also in the process of moving him from the school he's at, because the school he's in, a wonderful school, he's been there since he's been in nursery, since he was like 3.5 years old, and Tristan will be turning 10 soon. But we've decided to move him because I feel like it's too far away. So I've talked to the teachers and I explained to them, I was like, I'm so sorry, like Tristan has been there for so long, but I want him to attend this school that his sister attends. So once I explained to them that he's got a baby sister who goes to school around the corner, he's on the bus for like an hour and a half in the morning times, and it's just such a long drive for him. So I discussed it with the teachers, and also she was like, no, I understand, I feel that would be the best move as well. So the school has decided also that would be the best move for Tristan. So we're in the process of doing that. So fingers crossed. I mean, he was going to move anyway. That school only goes up to P7, so he has to move anyway. So we're just moving him a year earlier to St. George's, and hopefully, he'll get in there and go to school with his baby sister. And I'll have 2 kids that go to the same school. It'll be great, right? So yeah, just sort of that. And then with myself, I haven't been well. Like, okay, where do I even begin? In September of last year, I took really ill. I took the worst Crohn's flare-up I have ever had. I actually was hospitalized for 5 days. I was so sick because I couldn't eat or drink anything. I took starvation, kidioasis, that's, I don't think that's a word, where your like body has so much, what do you call that thing that's not good to have? Ketones. And it was actually like, I was really sick. I remember saying to my mom, I felt like I was dying. Like, well, how I felt the day before I went to the hospital is what I felt dying to be like. I was so sick. So 5 days, I mean, I must have had 30 bags of like saline and glucose, and my blood sugars were so low as well. So they keep an eye on my blood sugars. It was so bad. I was so sick. It was just horrendous, and I still don't even feel right from it. And then what happened was, a few weeks after, I was carrying my daughter up the stairs, and she was having a meltdown. So I put her down. She was kicking and screaming, but I needed to carry her, continue up into her room. And I lifted her up, and as I was lifting her, she was sort of bucking away from me, like really thrashing away. And I just felt like a pop, like a sort of a pop, like that kind of sensation. I felt it underneath the left side of my ribs. And I knew I fucked up. I knew I had done something really bad. And I had seen the doctor, and they'd done some x-rays and seen a consultant, and he said to me, I have a costocostal separation of my left rib. Now, I didn't know what that is, so I'm sure maybe you might know what that is. So I'll explain. A costocostal separation of your rib is where the bone part, the costocostal is the bone part attaches to, what do you call it? Cartilage part. I just thought it was all bone, because to show you I know nothing about a human body. So he says what you did is you've actually ripped or broke the bone part off from the cartilage part in 2 ribs. So I broke those. When I did that, they snapped right off on 2 ribs, and I to be honest with you, it was the worst pain I've ever experienced. So he says to me, there's nothing we can do for it. You need to strap it up, and you got to do your time. And unfortunately, it's going to take 6 months to heal. So I've got about 2 months to go, and I'll be honest with you, I never realized like the very small things that involve like your ribs, like even just bending down, like to pick up things, to move, to turn this way, even just to look out the window here. Once move, I feel like a horrible like shock goes through my body. It is terrible. I am in so much pain, and even worse, the doctor says the best thing to take really is an ibuprofen. I can't take that because I have a hiatus hernia. So I am not allowed to take like the appropriate pain relief for it. So it just really sucks. So I just really haven't I've been really sick. So yeah, I haven't been doing very well, but I'm hoping once this heals, everything will be good, and I'll feel better. I'll feel like myself, and get back to the way I was before. But that's all that's been happening. Crazy year, right? Leave comments below. If you're new to this video, please follow me and subscribe, follow. If you want to know about my channel, I am Tara, and I talk about autism. I talk about what it's like to have children who are autistic, and sometimes I talk about myself. Yeah. So subscribe, leave comment, tell me how y'all are doing, all my subscribers, because I miss y'all. Bye.